afternoon, John.
Hi, Maggie. Hi.
And I'm here to ask you a few questions that people might be too shy or embarrassed to ask you, if that's okay with you.
That's exactly what we're here for, Maggie. Yes,
Sure.
on you go.
You've never been in local politics at all, so why now? Why now at this age or stage in your life?
Well, rather by accident, I have to say, because I've always been interested in local matters, but I became chairman of the Inverness Civic Trust a year or so ago, and I got very involved with the protest group, the Westlink protest group and the trust, and I found myself getting more and more involved. And I have to say, a bit disenchanted with what passes for local democracy, and the protest that we had for the West Link has been fairly well publicised, and I think that we came to the wrong decision on that, and therefore I had to decide whether I was going to retire gracefully in defeat or whether I was going to take it to the next stage, and I felt that people should have the opportunity of registering a protest against the decisions that have been made.
Okay, well, it's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you're obviously quite passionate about it then.
I think this particular matter is extremely important, along with the matter of the common good question, which is also pretty contentious.
Sure. You don't sort of feel that your age is possibly against you? You know, do you think we should have some more younger blood coming in?
Absolutely, Maggie. You're absolutely right, but I don't have a lot of choice. I am the age I am, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to do it at my age. I would love to have done it when I was earlier, but it's a bit late for that. So yes, it's option's choice. Yes.
Time's right. That's fair enough. Yeah. You've concentrated on the West Link and the common good question. Why not concentrate on matters within the ward?
Well, I think that there are a number of things in the ward which obviously require attention at the moment and will continue to require attention over the period of the next administration. But my experience with the protest over the West Link and over the common good has highlighted the fact that our local democracy is under great threat, because I'm afraid that the last administration really abused their position and found themselves taking action against the wishes of 80–85% of the population in regard to the West Link, and they have refused to satisfactorily answer a question or a challenge regarding the common good and whether the bucks and the recreational areas are in fact common good land.
Right, okay. That's fair enough, I suppose, yeah. I mean, if you're elected, what effect do you think that will have on council policy?
Well, I don't think that one person, much less myself, is going to have a great deal of effect on council policy. That would be ridiculous to think that. But what I will be there is to be a watchdog to make sure that the abuses that were perpetrated with the last administration aren't replicated with the next administration. And if the next administration do try and take shortcuts on local democracy, then I will certainly be there, hopefully within the chamber, to raise voices of protest.
Right, oh that's good, that sounds very good actually. I think that's what's required, don't you?
Well, I hope so, and hopefully enough
a lot of lies goes on.
Yes, hopefully enough other people will feel that way as well. Yes.
One way or another. Why do you think that local democracy is so important?
Well, it's the basis of everything that we do. We can come to various decisions, but if the administration is allowed to override local democracy, then where does it stop? It means that the person in the street has no influence on what happens within the town or our city. And in fact, I think that's already becoming rather apparent. There's a great disconnection, unfortunately, I think, between the administration and the governance of Inverness and the people in the street, because people in the street do feel that they don't have a great deal of influence of what goes on around them. And I think I would like to try and help redress some of that inconsistency.
So why are you so suspicious of party policies or politics in local government?
Well, I find it, well, with the West Link protest and with the Common Good Fund question, the parties tend to adopt an attitude, and their councillors who adhere to that particular political grouping are really in a difficult position. It's very difficult for them to stand out against their political party that they're destructive is their policy. Now, I find it very difficult to understand how a councillor or an individual can stand and adopt a manifesto made up by a committee or a group of people with whom they may not have even been party or part of, and expect to defend a whole range of policies which they may or may not agree with. So therefore I think that in local government, independent councillors have the strength that they can first of all represent the people that voted for them, and not the party line, and I just feel that's and I think that generally in Inverness there's still quite a strong feeling that independence is an important factor in local government.
So tell me, John, why do you feel the common good administration required revision?
Well, we have a situation in Inverness at the moment where there's been a challenge, and a well-documented and legal challenge regarding the ownership of the recreational areas, and I think there is a very good case to answer that in fact it is common good land. Now, the councillors of Highland are also trustees of the common good. Now, trustees are obligated to support the interests of the common good, but of course their political masters have designated that they do not wish the recreational areas to be considered to be common good land. So therefore the councillors are in a very difficult position, because politically they have to support the council in their denial of this claim. On the other hand, as trustees, one would expect that they should investigate these claims with a view to seeing whether they had validity, because if they did have validity, obviously that would put the common goods, Inverness common good, in a much stronger position. So that is a very contentious matter. But I think probably the most immediate contentious matter is where we're sitting at the moment. Behind me, you see where they intend to drive a new road across the river, and on the other side of the river, lots of these trees will fall victim to the new road, and the recreational areas which are behind these trees over here will also be heavily compromised. On the other side of the river we have Wynn Park. Now the road will not go through Wynn Park, but it will be heavily compromised Wynn Park, and I think that the people of Inverness have made it very clear that they do not want these areas compromised, and that they did want the road to go from Lord's Roundabout to Torvain Quarry, and this I think probably highlights where the lack of local democracy, or the abuse of local democracy, has brought us to a point where the council are in a position where they're going to carry on and do something in direct opposition to the wishes of the majority.
Thank you for that, John. I think you've answered quite a few questions that may be people's minds. We wish you luck with
Thank you, Maggie, and thank you for not making the questions too embarrassing.
That's okay, John.